State and local tax deduction. State and local taxes, or SALT, are deductible. Prior to 2018, they were deductible in full. There were no limitations. Starting in 2018 through 2025, the total SALT deduction is limited to $10,000. So this has caused a huge change in the tax world. You've now had states actually enact laws to help residents of their states get around this limitation, at least residents who own businesses. There's something called the PTET rules, which is the pass-through entity tax rules. If you have a S corporation or you have a partnership, normally those entities do not pay income taxes. Instead, the shareholders or the partners pay the income taxes. But they've actually changed the law in many states throughout the United States that allows those entities, those partnerships and those S corps, to pay the tax at the entity level, which effectively gets around this $10,000 limitation, at least for those who own businesses. So this $10,000 limit has really caused a chain reaction that has significantly affected how we as tax preparers prepare income tax returns and how taxpayers pay their income taxes. But that limit was set to expire after 2025, which means it would have gone back to the old rules, which are that there is no limit. So what the new law does is it makes the limited SALT deduction permanent. However, it changes the amount. So you can see there on your screen, it's going up. For 2025, instead of $10,000 as the SALT limit, it is now $40,000. And then you can see each year through 2029, that amount is increased a little bit each year. And the way the law is written now, starting in 2030, it'll go back to $10,000. But of course, what the current Congress is doing is assuming that in 2029, the Congress at that time will be able to do something about this, and they can extend it again or change it again if they would like to do that. But for the years, the tax years, 2025 through 2029, these are the SALT limitations. Now, if you are married filing separately, then it is half of these amounts. But for all of the other filing statuses, it's $40,000 for 2025 and then goes up a little bit each year through 2029. Also through 2029, it is possible to have that SALT limitation reduced for higher income taxpayers. So that limitation, so for instance, the 2025 limitation of $40,000, that will be reduced by 30% of modified adjusted gross income over these threshold amounts. So the threshold amount for 2025 is $500,000. So if you have modified adjusted gross income of greater than $500,000 in 2025, then you're going to have to take 30% of the excess over that threshold amount, and you're going to subtract that much from your $40,000 limitation. I'm going to show you an example here in a minute so you can see exactly how this works. But those threshold amounts, again, go up a little bit each year, starts at $500,000 for 2025, and then goes up each year through 2029. And again, if you're married filing separately, your threshold is half of these amounts. No matter how high your income is, though, the limitation cannot be reduced below $10,000. So it starts at $40,000 for 2025, cannot go below $10,000 no matter how much you make. So let's look at an example. In 2025, Delilah has AGI of $550,000 and pays state and local taxes of $60,000. Her SALT deduction is initially limited to $40,000 and must be further reduced by $550,000 that she made minus the $500,000 threshold amount times 30%. So she's $50,000 over the threshold amount. 30% of that is $15,000. Subtract that $15,000 from the $40,000 limitation. Her final state and local tax deduction is $25,000. Example 2. In 2026, Delilah has adjusted gross income of $700,000 and state and local taxes of $70,000. Her $40,400 SALT deduction must be reduced by the excess of the $700,000 over the $505,000 threshold amount. So 30% of that is $58,500. So you take her $40,400, you subtract the $58,500, which of course would give you a negative number. But remember, it cannot be less than $10,000. So therefore, her final SALT deduction for 2026 is $10,000. And that, my friends, is going to do it. Thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. In the meantime, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.